Alright, good morning all. Welcome back to the Mysql tutorial as a late foundation for studying Python later when we understood the database operations and all that. Now I want us to jump into how to import and export databases using Mysql. I picked a tutorial here. I'll share this link with you. You can also get it from here. It's 47planning.org, and with this I'll share this link with you. So they were able to come up with this design of they have a database here called, it is Learning Introduction. Learning is Learning SQL is a small database used. Okay, they have created an SQL called Learning SQL, which is a small database written in 3 different database servers. These database servers are Oracle, Mysql, and SQL Server. You know, we're using Mysql, right? So we're going to use Mysql for us to do this. So if you're able to get this page, you then come down to the script. This is the script they have written, and the script is this. So I downloaded via here. When you download, you have these 3, the database, Learning Mysql using, that is having 3 different databases inside. So when I downloaded it, it gave me this Learning SQL .zip. Then I unzipped it inside the folder. When I unzipped, I was able to get this. Look at what I did. It's in my download folder. Here is it. Right click, unzip. When you unzip, it gives you this folder. So inside it there are 3 different database server scripts, which is Mysql, Oracle, and Mysql Server. So I want to import their database into our database. We don't have this. The schema and everything is there, and as you can see, the file size is 30 kVA. That means it's a small database, really. So the first thing you do is to create the database where you want to put in this, because it is not your own. Create a database. You can give it any name, but I want to go by Learning SQL, right, as it is written here. So the first thing, now I open our workbench, and I go to my connection. Our connection is Python Web. Oh, I haven't corrected this. Let us go. It's not a problem. Python Web. This is just kind of warning. Python Web. So now we create a database. Create database. The database name is Learning what?
SQL.
Learning SQL. For my own case, let me add DB here. Alright? Learning SQL DB. So then I will highlight and I push in. It says it's executed within 0.062 seconds. So we can now make use of it, right? We will make it active. Use what? This. And then we try to show what? We try to show tables, if any. There will be no table because it is a blank database. We have just created it. You see, the table is empty. So we want to now push in. We want to import this database we have seen online. We want to import it into here. This is the idea. Somebody might have created a database and he sent the script to you, but the script is actually normally .SQL. Please look at the file extension here. One has to be very careful. You may not see it, but then you right click and go to properties. Let me magnify for you. Can you see file type here? Yes. Type of file. Yes. What is it? The SQL. All right. So that's how, even if you are the one exporting, it has to be on that .sql. I mean, it has to be, take the extension of the .sql. Alright, our video is running currently, no problem. So then now, that is the file extension, .sql. Sometimes white men says .sql, right? Yeah, that's what they call it. They don't say dot, I don't know why. Maybe that's how the pronunciation is supposed to be. So in importing, for you to import database, we have two ways. Importing and exporting is of two ways. There is the one or two methods. The methods are one, using the command prompt. Two, using the Mysql Workbench. There could be other methods actually. As a developer, I will urge you to master how to import and export database using command prompt first. Then you use any other method, because in the other methods some scripts are doing the work for you. But here you're writing the command yourself using the command prompt. You use command prompts, those command prompt. How do we do it? I'm going to practice using the first one. I like using it actually. It has never failed me. I'm not saying that others are failing, but there could be situation whereby the environment might not warrant you to use Mysql. Like if you are working on the server of a given organization, they may just give you a client with just console. So you may not have GUI. You understand? So you have to write commands. That's why we urge you to actually put a kind of attention here. So the first thing we do now, importing and exporting. So let's start with inputting. So commands for importing, commands for inputting database, Mysql database. Let me be specific. Mysql database using command, right? Let's be consistent. Let me put capital I here. The first command here, we do this. What we do first is to write this command, and let me get consoler, and I want it to be different so you know that it's a command. What you do is to write Mysql, let's start with importing, exporting, then we import. Exporting, it will be better. In the DOS prompt, the DOS prompt is normally C // and then DOS prompt like this, right? This is what I'm saying. Look at it. DOS prompt, command prompt. If you click here, this is what you see, right? Yes. Let me increase the font size and all this so you see it very clearly. Font. Let me see, 36. I think it's visible, right? Yes. Right, rather this way. Sorry, I divided the screen into two. So we see, is it same? Yes. So this I want to document first before we write the command. So you type in, this is what you see in the command, in the CLI, right? Don't worry, we're going to do some touches here. So you now say Mysql what? If you are importing, if you are exporting, you now say Mysql dump. You are dumping. -u means user, then the user should be root, or any other user that has the privilege of doing this. -p, you're supposed to write your password. When I write my password, you see my password right now, but later I will delay this until when the system asks me to write then it to password, it will give me the fields, password fields, asterisks, right? Then we mentioned the database name here that you want to import or export, the DB name. Put in your DB name. Then you use this arrow. What is this? Greater than sign. You are exporting with this. If you are importing, you use this. Here you are importing in. This you are doing what? An export, right? So you export to where? You specify the location here. Don't worry, we specify. You can say file path here. You can just say the file path. Yes, I'll show you how you do that. I hope you okay. Let me make it full screen. I hope it's okay, right? So when you press this, it will ask you to supply your password. Then you supply password, and it will not reveal it. It will be in password field, asterisk representation of your password. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Then the second one, let's say this is A, then maybe B. B is for what? Huh? File path. Don't worry, you see the file path. I'll show you how you see the file path where the file of the SQL is going to be stored. The location. Don't worry. I know about it. Now, this second one. Actually, as a developer, you have to be. Commands should be your friends. Don't be afraid of commands. C / greater than sign. You don't have to write this yourself. If you are into the environment, yes, it will be there. So then you put in Mysql here, no dump, because you are importing. Don't write dump here. Just Mysql, root -p, password, as it is database. Database what? Database name. This is importing in. Yeah, then the file path where you are bringing it. Don't worry, this will be to be specified. Is it taken? So now let's practice. So firstly here we are not importing, we are not exporting, we're going to import. So let me make it this. I think the commands are seen. So here now we are into the what? This is what? This is the command prompt, is it? So you now say CLS. What is CLS? CLS means clear the screen. If anything is there, you clear it. So it's CLS. Clear the screen. You see it has cleared everything for us, right? Then now I will now say I want to see only command prompt CD / / will take you back to the root folder. Root prompt, root directory. Right? So now I will say write CLS again. Even if you don't go back to root directory, it's not a problem. But I want you to see this that we have done here. You know we are importing, so I'm working based on this very one. Let me highlight it. I'm working based on this gray highlighted something. I want to import, right? I'm sorry. This is important.
Yes.
Thank you. I just copied and I pasted. So we are importing really. So we put in Mysql. What? You would sometimes, if you put in this command and it tells you it doesn't recognize, then you have to do environment variable settings. If you run into that issue, you let me know. Root. Next P. Database name. So you come down to our here. Copy. Go back. Paste it. Right? And the database name, then the symbol for the importing, then the file path, right? So please look at what I'm going to do now. You have to be very attentive. This is where my database is, right?
Yes.
This is where it is. And this path to me is lengthy. I'm not going to leave it here. But, rather, I'll copy this database, this file, into another different folder. And this folder, what I normally do is to bring in a folder in the root directory, either on C or on a directory which is not C, like D. You know, Windows 10 is having issues with C. Sometimes it will not allow you to put in anything in C. So, but then you can relax it. But this is D. I have export and export to. You can pick any. I'm the one who created this folder. Then I'll paste this inside. It is pasted here, right? Is it? And this to me is also a kind of is somehow lengthy. So I will rename it by removing some things here. Just let it be just this one. So it will be very easier for me, right?
Yes.
Then I'll then copy this. I want to take the path. If you click on this address, that is the address where file this address, file something here, you bring in this and then you paste. Sorry, it's pasting the whole thing. Sorry, let me redo it. This is like I want to remember it. I want to copy the content. You click here, then backward slash or from backward slash, then you copy. This is the path of your file. Is it? Very simple. You can write it yourself, but then if there is problem, it will not run. Then you paste it here. So you're telling it that it should populate the database, or you should put in database from here. Then you, what is it? Cannot get the file specified. Okay, sorry, I did not write dot. Can you see the file extension? Dot what? Dot. Now it says I should put in password. Then I supply my password, the password of my database, and then it has started. It is done with the inputting. So let's check from our DB here. We will now say show tables again. Can you see tables? It has copied from what we have, and this database has a lot of tables here. Yeah. So this is all about importing, but exporting, maybe you try exporting yourself. Try it, or maybe we go to export one. So then, so this now you see we have our something. Okay, let me see what the tutorial says about this database. If there is any interesting something from them, then otherwise we check on database and run queries. And you know, we also have some databases that are bundled with our Mysql 8, like the Secular, the test and the old database and all that. So let's see. And this guy has already done what we have done. He has imported. You can use your Workbench to do the inputting and exporting, as I said. You can try it yourself. That one is very simple. No command is needed. Okay, so he has started explaining something here. He said learning SQL is a small database simulating the database of a bank. Can you hear from them?
Yes.
It simulates what? The bank database. So this is what it has. The tables, it has account, transaction, branch. It names customer, department, employee, what else? Officer, product type. Yes. And these are explanations about it. The products and services of banks, such as saving account and all this. But let's quickly see so we know what is there. Account, the table saves bank accounts. Exactly. It says multiple it says bank account. Each of customer can register multiple accounts, each of which correspond to a product type. You can register multiple accounts, savings, current, and maybe or what they call company account. Account transaction to serve the history of the transaction of a customer. Branch, the branch is business. Nothing is here, customer. Okay, so let's see some of the queries, if any. Otherwise, we can And this is how account is being built. This is the structure. Let's see the structure here. One of the tables is called account, and you want to see the structure of this. You know, see disk or describe. You can write in full. It's something. So, yes, this is what they have here. Let me see if anything is being populated in. Yes, there are data here. Of course, yes, that means we can write queries here. Interesting. So they've created accounts here, available balance, last activity, pending balance, customer ID, open branch, open ID. Yes, a lot of things are there, right? So let's see. Branch, business, customer, employee, okay. I think no any query was written. No any query was written, but then we can go through things here. Let me see what the. Okay, so now let's do one thing. I want to see the relationship and all this. Then I'll introduce you to what we call forward engineering and backward engineering, and then modeling right now. I want to see how the relationship is. Maybe you may not know what I mean by relationship. The model. I want to see something like this. So I don't know how it is being designed, but if I see I want to see something like this with the database. The model. Okay. You know, firstly you do this. That's when you do this, then you create the database. You push it to create a database. That is forward engineering. But if you already have the database and you don't have the schema, the model, then from the database you push it to create this, and then that is backward engineering. So let's do backward engineering for the database, and then okay, this is a different topic. Okay, subtopic. Database engineering. Engineering of the database gives you the design of the database. You see engineering, right? Gives you the design of the database. So if you are having the database already, if you have the database, if you don't have the database and you have the schema, then you create a database. That is forward engineering. One, forward engineering. Sorry, that should be D. Forward engineering. 2, backward engineering. Backward engineering, and then that is it. So what do you do here? Forward engineering, we cannot do forward engineering here because we don't have the schema, but my aim is to get the schema. So then since I have the database, so here with the database on ground, database on ground, you get what? Thank you. You get the model. You get the model of the DB. This I'm explaining what it means in a very short form, right? Is it? Yeah. You get the DB with the database on ground, and this.
What about the database? Without the database for the backward engineering.
Without the data, no. If it's two things, we want to get model of the database. If you have the model, you create the model, then you create the database later. That is forward engineering. But if you already have the database, we don't have the model, then you push the database into the Mysql Workbench, and it gives you the model. So that's what I'm trying to write here. The first one, we are supposed to have the model that will push to create the database. We don't have the model, but we have the database. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So then here, you now say, here you create this is a very simple something I'm writing. You create the database model, and then send to the workbench or any client you are using. Send to Mysql Workbench to get what? Workbench, sorry. To get the what?
Model.
Thank you, the model. Let me write in capital later. To get the model. Tell me to get the DB model, right?
Yes.
And here you get the okay. I think it's okay. So now let's see. Now come to these yesterday we have introduced you into the Mysql Workbench. I told you that we have how many? You come to home here, please. Can you see the icon of home?
Yes.
You click on it. This is what we have. The first one is database, the second one is the model, the third one is migration. If you are migrating data from one database to another database, maybe from Oracle to Mysql, or Mysql to Oracle, or Oracle to SQL, or Oracle to Mysql, each of. It does happen. You created in this and you want it, and then please, maybe some of you should start searching on information about this last one. Yes. So you click on this, and then okay, model, right? Okay, let me come to my connection first. Oh, sorry, I was having it's connected already. I have it here, and then if I click on databases and I click on what did I say? Forward engineering and reverse engineering, right? How about I call it? Sorry, it's not backward, it's reverse. Anyway. Maybe I just look at it. Probably the meaning is something, but actually it's reverse. I'm sorry. It's reverse engineering. Forward and reverse engineering. Sorry. I think the name, I just put the opposite of. You click on and then you have it here. You see, if you are in the database, you see reverse engineering. If you are in the model, you see forward engineering. Yeah. So if I click on this reverse engineering, then it asks me about connection, everything. Yes, I'm connected, because the connection could be that I'm connecting to a different database server using a port number. Maybe I have an installation of different Mysql database servers, and then so now you confirm the connection. The connection here, it's okay for us. That's our connection. Or if you want to go by our actual connection, you click and select our actual connection we have. Even that connection is pointing to the same database server. That's why I can use it. Are we there?
Yes,
then click on next. Then you click on what? Then here it asks you which of the databases do you want to reverse engineer. Our database is learning, right? Learning what? Learning SQL DB. I think it's here, right? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you click on next, and then click on next and execute. So it's backward engineering the something, then you finish it. Good, perfect. This is our database schema. So this is how that the database was being designed. Can you see relationships, open relationships, and all these things? So we have to create this schema ourselves. Yes. I'll teach you how to do some, but then it's your assignment to create this schema. You already have the fields of the database, right? You have everything on ground, but I want you to create the schema. You will create it. You create it, not forward engineering, but not reverse engineering. You create the schema yourself and forward engineer it to get the database. This I want it handy by Monday. Next week, Wednesday, Thursday. You have time. You have ample time. Don't rush, because we're going to check your connectivity. Look at, if I hold on the mouse here, can you see it's telling me about what? How the connection is, how the relationship is. Can you see? It's telling me how the relationship is. So you try to understand the database and then you create. But then before we round off today, we're going to create one. We're going to create like maybe 1 or 2 tables. Of right. Sajini, how have you seen this database?
Nice.
Very nice, right? You're going to create one for yourself. And then the material, if you have this kind of relationships like this, creating this such a kind of database is not done by just using select where clause. Rather, you have to be using joins. And in the materials that Jimmy sent, there was this something number 40 here, joins. Please, I want you to go through this before next week. Before next week, I want you to go through these joins, because we're going to work based on joins to do kind of. I'm going to study this database we have just pushed in. Actually, it's a very nice one, and then we're going to write some queries that will really perform some functions. But you cannot, joins enables you to come up with querying of at least two tables, right? Yes, at least 2 tables, 2 tables or more than 2 tables, based on the keys you have that are being used as relationships. You write, and then we have different sort of types of joins. We have the inner joins and outer joins and all these. I think there is another material I have about joins. Maybe I will send it for you and then left inner joint, right inner joint, right? Things like that. I told you, actually, if you want to become a full stack developer and you don't know database, you are wasting your time. You must have to master database, then you master your programming language, you master your business logic, you master whatever kind of technology being used, and then I think for the cat poly guys, we're going to do something like this as well. But then I want us to start React with them. React. I want us to start React by next week. Yes, it's too much, but I'll give you another one before closing. You have submitted yourself here and we collected you. You've been accepted, right? So actually you're going to work. Yes, you're going to work. Yes, there is also this maybe by next week we are going to do kind of all these kind of queries that checks on likes and all these things, and what they call is it regex or something, wildcats, characters, and all this. So now back to our Mysql Workbench What is it? Yes, this is the schema. Can somebody suggest for us to study one table here? Where is customer? Where is customer? Right. Yes, I think let's start with customer. Customer has this. If you double click the table, it gives you this. So you see how it is being done. This is it. This is it, right? So the first thing is there is a table called, there is a key, field called cost ID. That means customer's ID. And this cost ID, it's ints and it's auto incremental. It is not null. That means it will not collect null. It will not accept null. And we have other things like fields. Fields, some varchar, address, city, customers type, field ID, postal code, state. All right. And some are optional while others are required. The fit ID, okay. Maybe this is their national identification, something. Okay, good. So now the key, the primary key here is course ID, right? So let's see, is it mentioned anywhere? So it becomes a foreign key somewhere. It is like it's connected. If you hover around, it's connected to how many tables? How many tables? About 4 tables. 4 tables, right? Accounts, individual, and 2 other tables here. Product type. And down there something. I think it's this business. Yeah. So good. So that now while I'm in account, I can get who is the owner of the account, right? While I'm in individual store only the date of birth, information, biodata, right? First name, last name, biodata, whatever. So while I'm in individual, I will get to know who is the customer. That's what we're going to do next, creating of this database. So please, you study it. I'm also going to study it very well. And then while I'm in customer, I'll get to know who is in the product type, what type of product has customer subscribed for, what kind of account, name of the account, whatever, right? And the last one is business. Type of business for the customer, right? Whether incorporated, the incorporation ID, the name, whatever, the business, whatever. So all these is being using the customer's ID. Customer is one important component in this model. That's good. So this can become somebody's project and the something. Maybe you create a software for student or SUG for banking something. Student will be storing whatever. I don't know really. So now what I want you to do is to perfect this modeling. So let us do something here. I want to let me get this information and the information for just 2 tables. Let me see tables that are not lengthy. Individual, good. Account is lengthy. Maybe we do it next, or you take it as your assignment. Let me do individual and maybe product type. Yeah, these 3. I want to do them now and then assign relationship as it is here. Are we there? So let me open up here, double click. Okay, I think everything is here. State is the last field, right? Right, so everything is there, so we can. an individual, everything. So I want to reproduce this for you to see how model is being done. So first what you do is to go back here, come to what? Model, click on the model icon to add a model. It's telling you that only one model can be open at a time. So let us have an image of this, which may be somewhere here, so we can be referring to it. Is it? I think this is okay. So we want to reproduce customer, and already all that we need is there. So we have to close this model. This is their model. We have to close this. Learning, yeah. Okay, it's asking. Okay, I haven't saved the model. The model I opened. So let me save it in our folder here. Say learning what? Learning SQL, right? Thank you. Learning SQL DB. Then you write model at the same time. Huh? This is a model, not the DB. It's the model. So now let's go to the model and we'll click. Yes, it's now creating for us. This is how you create model now. Creation of model. Right? Model creation. This is another easy subtopic. Immediately after this we'll close. I don't want us to do something very so DB model creation. Now back to Workbench. Are we there? Back to Workbench. You double click this to give it name. What is the name of the DB? It's learning SQL, right? Yes. But we cannot give two databases with same name. So learning SQL, let me say learning SQL class exercise. Please don't try the database name with capital letters. It's a problem. You can do underscore. So all table names or database names, Linux is not saying really those things. So let's write exercise. That means it's our own exercise, right? Then you press enter. It has assumed the name. It has taken the name. Okay, it's okay, right? All right. Then now after this, you then double click on this add diagram. Then you pick this table symbol and click here. Then you double click it, and then you check on the first thing we want to do is what? The customer. Then I will do for only two tables here. I'm tired really. So this customer, that's the name of the table. The table, you see customer. Alright. Then the first thing you double click here, it will give you some suggestions, but you write what you wanted. They have used capital letter. See customer underscore what? ID. We don't use dash here. It's underscore ID, and it is primary key, not null. It is not auto increment. Check from what they have. I'm going vividly based on what I've seen there. It is not auto increment. But maybe we check again. It is not auto increment. Then we have address city. Please you check the schema how it is and then you replicate. Address Vakatati city. Please you should hold on this. Try to get what these are. So so we can do something very fast. Oh, let me do this. Then this schema, and then this again. Huh? You said? I think it's okay now, right?
Yes.
So we have what?
Address.
Address. They are all written in capital letter. Address. It is Vaka 30. Let's go by 45. I think it's not bad. Address, in case somebody is having a very lengthy. Okay, thank you. I click on, yeah. Then what next? City. Let's go by not known all, but with their own case, some are not known while others are not. Next, customer type. This is car. Just one character. Where is car here? Okay. Car and 1. Next. Freight ID. Maybe we'll do some changes later. This is 12 character. And then postal code. Yes, postal code shouldn't be okay. They said 10. Let's go. Next, state. So let's say they are all not known. For example, that's all for this. Any suggestion? Huh? So this is our table, one table here. Then I want to see the next table. I just want to create 2 tables and create the relationship. Individual, right? Yes, let's go by individual. So I click on this and I click and I double click. Alright. It has to be small case. Individual. It has no ID because it will take foreign key from class. I mean customer something. Yes, now that's it. Now you see that's what creates the relationship. So birth, that is date of birth, birth date. This is date, right? Only date. Where? Date. It's not a primary key, not now. First name. These are valid data. So you see kind of normalization. Instead of them to put in everything there. Let me go by 45. First name. Last name, same thing. 45 is too lengthy since it is not full name. Last name. Let's see 35. 5. Next is all right. You don't write this, delete it. So this is what we have. Not now. Thank you. Then click out and close. It has stored it for you. So we have customer here. So how do we get relationship of this? You check. The relationship is let me see what is there. It is many to many. Actually, it's supposed to be one to many. One customer ID here related to
many individuals.
No, not many individuals. One customer is having many components in the, or not components, information. The information, you know, you have birth, you have first name, last name, whatever. But then here it's only one person that is having it. So the customer is having many information here. And many information is related to only one ID. It seems to be one to many. So let's see. This is one to many. One to many. Sorry. Yes, it is the one. I made a mistake. You click one to many, right? Yes. One. I don't know why it is not. Let me escape. One whatever to many. Okay. I have to start from the individual, right? This, okay, many to one. Yes, this is the correct thing actually. If you look at it very well, yes, I have an ID here. I have one person, and it's related. It's having many information in another table, and many information in that table are connected to one person in this table. Yes. So this is now what? This is your model, no DB yet. Then we will do forward engineering, which is this. What? Forward engineering. Forward engineering, right? So from the DB here, from this we now push to create. So you come to, you store your model first. Let's take it, see something here. Learning SQL DB exercise what? Model, right? Is it? Yeah. So it's been stored. Then you go to databases. What? Forward engineering. Then you push. All the scripts are there for you to create the. After that, you come back to your database. Show databases. Let me search for learning. Can you see we have two? And then I say use and what? Show tables, right? Can you see we have two tables? Customer, and then if I select, you see nothing because it hasn't been populated. But everything is being created. If you check for the second one, same thing. Individual. We're going to stop here actually. Your assignments are many today, really. Your assignment is to create the model yourself. study this database, accounts database, study it, and create the model. And then by next week we're going to start responding questions regarding the database queries.